Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Vedic astrology coach, Shraddha Kapoor, and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. You're not going to see me today because today it's about shadowy planets Rahu and Ketu and their transit in the year 2025 and 2026 as they would enter the sign of Aquarius and Leo, respectively. Let us begin with Aries ascendants and understand what is happening with Aries ascendants as Rahu moves to Aquarius and Ketu moves to the sign of Leo. This is happening in May, and this is going to stay till the end of 2026. So for the next 18 months, this transit is happening and it's not going to happen for the next 18 years. So Rahu is moving to your 11th house in the sign of Aquarius. Rahu co-rules the sign of Aquarius. Therefore, it is in a strong disposition because this kind of placement is notified that Rahu, who is your co-11th lord, is making a transit in the 11th house. Ketu is your co-8th lord, which is making a transit in the 5th house. 11th house denotes material comforts, your external gains, your wider social network. It also indicates your enemy. Rahu holds an enmity with your Lagna lord, Mangal. However, Ketu is friendly towards Mangal because it is like Mangal, it is like Mars. So Rahu could create obstruction, could make you face competition and certain enmity over the course of next few months. From an expansion point of view, this is quite a good transit because you could expect workplace related growth. 11th house is the second house from your 10th house. So it does indicate an increase, and this could be an exponential increase in your income at work in case you're running through a favorable dasha antadasha. Now, depending on the placement of Saturn or Shani, we could probably have further assessment in terms of what kind of results Rahu is going to deliver sitting in the sign of Aquarius in the 11th house. Now, I consider Rahu to deliver very good results in 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th houses. Particularly in 3rd and 11th house, Rahu delivers some of the very best results. So, I do expect from a material standpoint it to work in your favor. However, you will face a lot of challenges when it comes to going on a spiritual path. Because see, this Rahu is aspecting firstly your 12th house by its second aspect. This is a 100% aspect. And this house is a bit delicate over the next 18 months. So you have to take care of your health firstly. You have to ensure that you make donations, that you help the needy, you help people. 12th house is donations, 12th house is hospitals. Make sure that you go for a routine health checkup because you definitely have some karmas related to hospitals. In case your dasha antadasha is not conducive, you could expect certain results. This could also cause an impact on your sleep. Your expenses could increase. However, what you have to focus on is savings and have a very positive mindset. Now, how you can channelize this, one of the remedies for you is, of course, chant prayers, do prayers of anyone do you believe in. Rahu's best remedy either comes from Durga or it comes from Lord Vishnu. So either prayers related to Durga or Lord Vishnu, that could be very helpful for you. But 12th house is delicate, so manage your expenses and focus a lot on increasing your self-awareness. This is the key message for you. This house being delicate, you could still focus on some of the other good aspects which are there. Rahu's fifth aspect will be on the third house, and its ninth aspect will be on the seventh house. This is the aspect of knowledge. Now, Rahu's knowledge is not a very good knowledge, but here's how you can transform it to be good knowledge. So, you would focus on your efforts in your relationship. So you would need to put constant efforts in your partnership, in your relationship. Those people who are looking to get married, this particular window could be favorable for them next 18 months in case you're looking for a new partner, in case you're looking to get married. Rahu's 100% aspect is on your fifth house. Rahu's aspect of desire is very strong. So Rahu desires positional success, positional growth, children. Depending on the placement of Saturn, this could be either positive or this could be challenging for you. But one thing that you have to stay away from is any illegitimate means of earning income. You have to be absolutely ethical. you have to stay away from any kind of indulgence, any kind of extravagance, because this is something which Rahu promotes while sitting in the 11th house while aspecting the 5th house. So at 11-5 axis is pretty active. Ketu is making a transit in the 5th house. Ketu is your co-lord. Ketu's placement in trinal houses is not very auspicious. And here, the remedy comes from Jupiter. And this is from the day lordship concept or Vara lordship concept, because Jupiter is sixth from Ketu when it comes to the day lordship or their sequence. Mantras related to Jupiter will be very good for you. A simple mantra, Om Gurave Namah, or a Shiva mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya, will help you to chant and, of course, channelize these energies in a positive manner. Your co-8 lord is making a transit in the 5th house. It is very good if you were to learn astrology or any of the other hidden subjects or research related subjects. That's quite positive for you. Now, you have a way to channelize this Ketu positively. Ketu is aspecting your 9th house and your 1st house by the 5th and the 9th aspect. It's not very impactful, but this could bring some sort of obstruction when it comes to material things related to 9th house and material things related to 1st house. So it could cause some obstruction and some isolation from other people. This is something which you have to be mindful of. You must get blessings from your guru or your mentor or someone who you look up to. So your 11th and 5th axis is pretty active around this time. So you could expect new beginnings with regards to matters of these houses, events that are connected to these houses. You need to have a greater focus on your children over the course of next few months in case you have children. You could have less interest in love life, but you will have more interest in social life. This could be quite conflicting for your relationship. So you have to take care of your relationship and protect your relationship. So you need to manage your social circle and your personal close-knit relationship as well, particularly if you're married. Do your prayers. I do expect this particular transit to mostly give you mixed results, as any transit would do, but that would depend on your ongoing dasha antardasha. In case you have a well-disposed Surya or Sun in your chart, you would likely to receive very good results of this Ketu. If Surya is in yoga or is placed in Kendra houses or trinal houses, you could expect great new beginnings and very good progress over the course of next few months. And I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Taurus ascendant. What's happening with Taurus ascendants as Rahu makes a move in the sign of Aquarius and Ketu makes a move in the sign of Leo. They move together. They're always 180 degrees apart from each other and they're always retrograde. So Rahu is moving out of your 11th house and now Rahu is going to enter your 10th house. Rahu is the co-lord of the sign of Aquarius, which is your 10th house. So from that aspect, it's a positive placement for Rahu. Rahu does very well in 3rd house, in 6th house, in 10th house, and the 11th house. These are the Upachaya houses. These houses indicate growth, and Rahu loves to grow. Though he's a bit unfortunate in matters of growth because Rahu is the head and he likes to consume as much as he can, but he doesn't feel the growth. So his sense of desire is very high. Whichever house Rahu sits in, it amplifies the effects of that house. It also increases the desires related to matters of that house. So next 18 months, you're going to be very focused on all matters related to this particular house, which is your work, which is your profession, your actions in the society, what you do in order to survive and sustain yourself in this world. Rahu is definitely going to bring exponential opportunities in case you have a well-disposed Saturn, because Saturn is a Yoga Karaka Graha for you. Rahu is also a favorable planet for Taurus ascendants because it listens to Venus, who's your Lagna Lord, because Venus is the guru of demons and Rahu is one of the demon. So a remedy for you would come either from Saturn or from Venus. Mantras related to Saturn or Hanuman Chalisa, or this could be mantras related to Ma Lakshmi. A simple mantra, Om Lakshmi Namah, or a mantra related to Durga can also be good in terms of channelizing this Rahu. Now, this will bring in new opportunities. It could bring a shift from your workplace. Your 10 and 4 axis is pretty active, this axis. So, this could make you not only shift your job, but also shift your workplace in case your Dasha Antardasha is supportive. In case you're looking forward to shifting your base outside of your home country, this could be a favorable time for you because Rahu is also a foreigner and it is entering your 10th house. So, it could create that tendency. Ketu on the other side is sitting in your 4th house, causing a sense of affliction, and this could create a separative tendencies from your home, depending on your ongoing Dasha Antardasha. Now, if you understand the aspects of Rahu, your 11th house is quite delicate around this time because Rahu has a second aspect, which is a 100% aspect. So, this house needs to be pay careful attention. You could have some enemies at work. So, stay low key. Avoid discussing a lot of ideas. If you have great ideas, maybe discuss it at the time when you're about to implement. Keep things to yourself at work could be sometimes very good for you. So you have to act in a very diplomatic way. Diplomacy is also the strength of Rahu, but Rahu's diplomacy is driven by the 6 enemies of the mind because it has a lot of greed, right? He's very self centered. So, one thing how you can counter it to be more grounded at work. But then at the same time, if you have very interesting ideas, keep them to yourself. Otherwise, you could create strong opposition. Rahu is also aspecting your second house by its fifth aspect and your sixth house by its ninth aspect. These are the aspects of knowledge. So, your family and your daily routine, your finances and job. Of course, your 2, 6, 10 trine, this trine is pretty active, which is the Artha trine. It is the trine related to growth, related to financial wealth and financial management, most importantly. So, you have a karma to implement your knowledge in managing your finances over the course of next few months and what you do in your life on a day-to-day basis. Job change is inevitable. It could be good for you or it could be challenging depending on your ongoing dasha antardasha. Rahu has a 100% aspect on your 4th house, so it is causing a certain affliction. It wants you to make a movement, and this movement could be eventually good for you. This is something which you have to be thoughtful of. Your mother's health could be of a concern, depending on, of course, your time period and her time period as well. So make sure that you stay connected with your mother. Your partner can have definitely some gains around this time, some sense of happiness, some good news. So that is something which you could expect: promotion, progress, career success, a sense of satisfaction could increase. See, Ketu is your co seventh lord. It is making a transit in the 4th house. So it is forming a yoga in transit. They're making transits in Kendra houses. So it's very important for you. Depending on the placement of your natal Saturn and natal Sun, we could have further assessment. If your Surya, which is more of a neutral planet for you, is placed in Kendra or quadrant houses in your chart, its natal placement, or if it's an exaltation or sitting in the 4th house, you could expect very good results in terms of your overall health and well being. So, your health is going to come back on track. But your partner is going to play a very important role in supporting you in terms of your mindfulness. So, if you're looking for a new partner or maybe a new relationship, this can be a little bit challenging. But over the course of the next few months, you're likely to find someone. But make sure that you listen to your partner in case you're married, because you definitely have some connection or karma here. See, Ketu has an aspect on your 8th house and your 12th house. So, this is activating your moksha trine, which is the 4, 8, 12. So, from a spiritual point of view, Ketu is giving you a very good transit to enhance your spiritual practice. Rahu is conflicting, so you will face a challenge in terms of your material thought process and your spiritual thought process. This will be very conflicting, this will be very challenging. So, as long as you're able to balance that, it is good for you. But yes, Ketu is definitely increasing your spiritual quotient. Start yoga, sadhana, start doing it at your home. I would highly encourage you to have a 45 minute to an hour morning routine where you keep all the devices and gadgets away and either stay in silence, meditate in silence, Maun Vrat, or you practice yoga. You do yogic practices, you do sadhana, you do meditation, and have a very good routine. This way, you will be able to channelize and ensure that you are in a comfortable position. Otherwise, look up to your loving Lord Venus and certain remedies that you can perform. The next 18 months, it is very important for you to declutter your home and declutter your workspace. Keep it absolutely neat, clean, and tidy. Otherwise, you will attract negative energies. If you keep it clean, tidy, success is going to come to you because the energies are going to be very positive. And I wish you the very best for 2025, 2026 throughout the transit. Let us now talk about Gemini ascendants. What's happening with Gemini ascendants as Rahu makes a move in Aquarius and Ketu makes a move in Leo. They're always 180 degrees from each other, always opposite, and always moving retrograde or in reverse direction. In the beginning of the video, I shared some interesting insights about Rahu and Ketu, their aspects, their lordship, and some never heard before things that you might have found useful. Now, Rahu is moving out of your 10th house and now entering your ninth house. Rahu is your co-ninth lord. It is your Bhagyesha. It co-rules the ninth house, which is the sign of Aquarius. So, depending on the placement of Saturn, who is the primary ruler of the ninth house, your primary Bhagyesha, Rahu becomes your secondary Bhagyesha. Whether you will have more influence of Rahu or more influence of Saturn in terms of matters related to fortune would depend on who has a stronger position in your chart. That is the planet of Graha that you have to look up to. If Rahu is strong, you need to look up to Rahu. If Saturn is strong, you need to look up to Saturn. So, in case Shani or Saturn is well placed in Kendra or trinal houses, if it's forming nice yogas, if it's exaltation, or in own or mul trikon sign, you could expect good results most of the time in terms of this transit. But both Ketu and Rahu, they are activating your 9 and 3 axis, which indicates journeys, which indicate travel opportunities, which indicates short as well as long distance travel. And it also denotes start of something new. So the next 18-month cycle, because these are cyclical activations, cyclical events. So would activate new journeys, new beginnings for you. You could go on new ventures, new business opportunities. This time period could be such that maybe something that you've been wanting to do since a long time, either you will be forced to start that venture or you would perhaps take things in your own hands and go for that venture. Rahu in trinal houses, being the node, is not very auspicious. And here the remedy comes from Mercury. Mercury is also your ascendant lord, and Rahu likes Mercury. Mercury is a good student. Rahu shares a cordial relationship with Mercury and he likes Mercury. But the remedy for you will be from Mercury. So either Bija Mantra of Mercury or you could use one of the Vishnu mantras. Either you could use the mantra Om Vishnave Nama or Om Namo Narayanaya. These are both Shadakshari and Ashtakshari mantras. This is something which you could use to channelize these energies. If you have challenges with regards to your workplace, with regards to your job, then you use the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and use that in midday because midday, Sun is making a transit in the 10th house. This will reduce your work related issues and probably bring things back on track because this is a house which you have to pay careful attention. Rahu has a second aspect on your 10th house. This is going to be delicate for the next few months. So you could expect authority issues. You could expect changes or shifts with regards to your job, with regards to your work. And this is definitely indicating new line of work. You will face the political heat at your workplace, some sort of manipulation. So you have to be careful of that. This will not be in your hands. So either you'd be in a situation that you live with it, you ignore what's happening, or you take a stand and take things in your hand. You have to protect your dharma. Because see, Rahu is amplifying fortune, it's amplifying bhagya, it's amplifying travel, it's amplifying dharma as well, but it could cause negativity as well here. So you have to be the protector of your dharma. You need to have prayers, you need to have a good routine, exercise every day, eat right, and be the ambassador of your dharma. This is a key message for you. All right. Focus on what you're doing, your deeds, your work, path of righteousness, your decisions, right? Independent thinking, what you feel is right, and take the stand of what is right. Other people's behavior is not in your control, so there's very limited that you could probably do. And of course, such manipulations at workplace will be beyond your control. Rahu is aspecting your Lagna and also your fifth house by the fifth and the ninth special aspect. So Rahu is activating your Dharma trine, okay, or 159 axis, which means a lot of focus on your Dharma is needed, path of righteousness, and to build your fundamentals. Next 18 months is the time for discipline and building your fundamentals. Rahu is also aspecting your third house, and this is also 100% aspect. So change is inevitable. It could cause change of place, shift of residence. It could also help you to acquire a real estate outside of your home country. In case you're planning to buy something outside of your home country, this could be a favorable time, or you could have a change in your residence. Because this house is fourth from your 12th house. 12th house is foreign lands, and this house represents residence or probably buying something or a real estate or an asset in foreign land. Ketu on the other side is your co-sixth lord. This is your sixth house. And it is making a transit in your third house. So it is kind of a Viparita yoga in transit. Circumstances could go adverse. Eventually, you will rise. Ketu is one of the potent malefic planet for Gemini ascendants. Therefore, its transit in the 11th house, I would consider it giving mixed results. Since Ketu is like Mars, Mars is the natural significant of the third house. I expect Ketu to do good in the third house from that aspect. Depending on Sun, if Sun is placed in trinal houses, it is ideal. If it is placed in quadrant houses, you're also likely to get some better results of this Ketu. But of course, it will create separative tendencies, matters related to third house. So it would not encourage you to put in a lot more efforts. You need more efforts in terms of your daily things. In terms of a job, particularly, you have to probably come up with differentiated approach, a very creative approach. You have to consciously enhance your communication. You could become a spiritually intelligent communicator because you will gain a lot of spiritual knowledge over the next few months. Now, this is how you could leverage your communication because you will have a separative tendency. You would like to be reserved, you would like to sit by yourself and introspect. That could also potentially be your strength. Ketu is aspecting your seventh house and your 11th house. So it is activating the 3, 3, 7, 11 trine, which is the karma trine or the trine of desire. Ketu's desires are very non materialistic, it has no desire, right? So it wants you to have a very spiritual approach in your relationship life, stay low key, support your partner, and make sure that you're there with each other because this could create a little bit of a conflicting situation here and also with friends. So be mindful of some of these situations here. Your 3993 axis is pretty active, so be prepared for new journeys, new beginnings. One of the ways to remedy this Ketu is to journal. Journal about communication, journal about your key strengths, write about what you want to achieve in life. Exercise, use your hands as much as you can. Because you do anything against Ketu here, you're able to overpower and you're able to channelize these energies positively. And I wish you the very best of 2025, 2026 through this transit. Let us now talk about Cancer ascendants and what's happening with Cancer ascendants as Rahu and Ketu, the nodes of the moon, are making a big shift and now entering Aquarius and Leo. Rahu is moving in the sign of Aquarius and Ketu is moving in the sign of Leo. They're always 180 degrees apart from each other, opposite to each other, and always moving retrograde. So what's happening here is Rahu is moving out of your ninth house and now it is entering your eighth house. Rahu co-rules the sign of Aquarius because Aquarius is its Mool Trikon sign. This is something which I have explained in the initial part of my video. Its own house is the sign of Virgo, which is your third house. Now, Rahu being the co-eighth lord, this is a Viparit yoga in transit, which means circumstances could go adverse But the good news is eventually you will rise. So you will rise after a significant fall. See, Vipareet Yoga does give material comforts and benefits. In case you have a natal Vipareet Yoga, let's say if you have your 6th, 8th, 12th Lord placed in any of these houses, this could really trigger or activate during this time. But this would very much dependent on the placement of Saturn in your chart, how it is placed and the kind of connection it is making, and Rahu's placement in your chart, the sign that it is placed in, and the dispositor of Rahu. So, for example, if Rahu for you is placed in your 10th house, you have to look up to Mars. If it is placed in 4th house, you have to look up to Venus. And of course, make a further assessment of some of these results. But Rahu, whichever house it sits, it expands the significations of these houses. 8th house is longevity, your weakness as well. So, of course, it can expand your weaknesses because this is the house where we see suddenness in life, sudden decisions, sudden ups and downs. We call it Nija dosha, which is your weakness. So, how you can overcome these weaknesses, because this is something which Rahu will accentuate, will amplify. Transformation also it will amplify. Certain obstructions also it will amplify for your greater good, for your transformation. This is something which you must remember. From a remedial perspective, you must look up to your ascendant lord moon. Any remedies related to moon will be very good for you. So do a Rudra Abhishek either on Mondays or whenever you can, or at least once a year. You should do that. Chant a Krishna mantra. Om Kleem Gopichand Vallabhaya Swaha. I'll repeat. Om Kleem Gopichand Vallabhaya Swaha. Remember, Rahu's head was chopped by Lord Vishnu, and Lord Krishna is one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu. So you must look up to him because he is closely associated to moon, and Rahu is the north node of the moon. In case you were to channelize this transit positively, embrace yourself in Krishna Bhakti. Read Bhagavad Gita, right? See, I do not, again preach specific religions here when I talk about my transit videos, but I follow Sanatan Dharma. So it is again my duty to be the messenger of Sanatan Dharma. But here, I would encourage you to read Bhagavad Gita because it does give very good messages and very good teaching. Because you need to protect your ninth house. Rahu is aspecting your ninth house by its second aspect, which is 100% aspect. So, of course, this is becoming delicate for you. So, you will have shifting tendencies when it comes to your dharma, when it comes to fortune, and of course, when it comes to the right kind of decisions. This is something which you have to protect. How you can protect it? By, of course, gaining knowledge of what is right in this world. By following and sticking to your dharma, by protecting it, this is how you'll be able to overcome it. Because this is weakness for you at this point in time. Rahu is also aspecting your 12th house and your 4th house by its 5th and 9th special aspect. So Rahu is helping you to increase your spirituality because this is the 4, 8, 12 trine, which is the moksha trine. So, of course, exponential spiritual practices. The more spiritual you become in the next 18 months, the better you can channelize the energies of this Rahu. If you were to learn astrology, occult, any of the hidden subjects, you will do a lot of research. This is an exponential time for Cancer ascendants in case you have a favorable dasha to pick up astrology, to learn more about ancient scriptures, to do a lot of research, and come up with very interesting differentiated concepts. Ketu, who is the co-fifth lord, and again a yoga karaka planet for you, is making a transit in the second house. So Ketu is giving you a dhan yoga, a financial yoga during this transit. So in case you have a well-disposed Ketu, if it is forming good yogas, in case you have a well-disposed sun, you can expect exponential financial growth over the next 18 months. Ketu, though, is a non-materialistic graha. It has no desires, but it does give financial growth when it deems to be in its time periods based on supporting transits. So Ketu's transit is favorable for you when it comes to financial matters. But Ketu also creates separative tendencies in terms of matters related to these houses. So you will care less about money. You might also have some shifting tendencies or separative tendencies when it comes to family matters, when it comes to your speech. There could be a little bit of a fiery element, or you could have temperamental issues. So this is something which you have to be mindful of and take care of. This could potentially be an excellent time for you to get a dog at home because Ketu is associated with dogs. So Ketu is most faithful as well in that matter. So this could be a potentially favorable time for those who have dogs. You have certain karmas around this time. You will be very closely knit and closely bonded. Ketu is aspecting the sixth house and the 10th house by its fifth and special aspect. It does not have a very intense aspect, but this is, of course, focusing on your 2, 6, and 10 trine, which is the Arthur trine. Your sense of desire, your sense of success, how you can be successful at your workplace. Ketu could cause some obstruction in job related matters. So you have to have a differentiated approach. You have to be very clever over the next few months. You have to probably take charge and be in an authoritative position because your second house is lorded by Sun. So that plays a very important role. Your 10th house is lorded by Mars and your sixth house is lorded by Jupiter. So look up to Mars or look up to Jupiter in order to make the most of this Ketu's transit. If you were to succeed at work, remedy comes from either Jupiter or Mars. Their Bij mantras could be potentially good for you. And of course, mantras will be good because Ketu is making a transit in your house of speech, Vani, which is the second house. So make sure that you channelize these energies. Quite fiery energies when it comes to work, but eventually I do expect this to be a very good financial transit for you. Keep putting your energies in financial management. Intelligent financial management is the need of the hour, and I wish you the very best in the year 2025 2026. Let us now talk about Leo ascendants. What's happening with Leo ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make this big shift in 2025 2026 for the next 18 months. 18th of May, they would enter Aquarius and Leo, and they're going to stay in these signs till the end of 2026, till 5th of December 2026. So next 18 months are quite crucial. This is activating your 7th and first house axis, your 7-1 axis. So expect new events, changes, matters pertaining to 7th house, which is the house of Jaya, peace and war, your spouse, marriage, relationship, partnership, agreements, and also yourself, which is this is your first house. So matters pertaining to yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are, your intelligence, your sense of growth, and your decision making. All of that is going to get activated. You would expect this to trigger new events for yourself and for your spouse. Now let's understand this transit in a deeper way. Rahu is the co-ruler of the sign of Aquarius. So it is sitting in the sign of Aquarius for the next 18 months. Rahu gains directional strength or is Digbali in the 7th house. So there are blessings of Devatas during this time. There are blessings of Sri Hari, Lord Vishnu, because he is the one who was able to conquer Rahu and show Rahu its position. Of course, Rahu always have that hidden revenge in mind. But this Rahu is gaining directional strength. So it is accentuating certain positive effects. So it is going to bring exponential effects in the 7th house. It will amplify. So this means you also need to protect your relationship in case you are in an existing relationship, because if it amplifies, it could deviate you from the path of being a loyal partner. So make sure that you stay connected and strengthen this relationship. So that is how you'll be able to channelize it appropriately. Those people who are looking forward to establishing a new relationship, this time period, the next few months could be quite positive. Could see you settling down in life. Could see you getting married as well. And this could be quite strong. Ketu on the other side would create separative tendencies. You might want to probably stay isolated. You could have temperamental issues. You could have mood swings. So please deal with your mood swings so that you avoid any kind of conflict. Rahu is aspecting your 8th house. So this is where weakness is. But this is good in a way, right? Because 8th house is about sudden ups and downs, sudden changes. So you'd likely to be away from any suddenness. So I consider this negative aspect to be very good for you because this would ensure that you do good research, that you you stay away from or probably stay protected from any unforeseen events and you come back strong. Matters if there are anything negative, you come back very strong and you increase your strength, your intelligence as well over the course of next few months. Rahu is aspecting your 11th house and your third house by the fifth and the ninth special aspect. So this is activating the 3, 7, and 11 trine, which is the karma trine. So your desires will be on a very higher side. So you need to channelize your desires. You would want to achieve a lot. There could be certain business expansion as well, or some changes in your business. You could expect certain gains, but make sure that you channelize your desires appropriately. Rahu is also aspecting your ascendant, and this is also 100% aspect because Rahu has very high desires. So it wants you to evolve your personality depending on the placement of your Lagna Lord Surya, and he is the one who you need to look up to in order to maximize this transit. If you have a well disposed sun in Kendra or quadrant houses, you could expect very good results, name, fame, recognition over the next 18 months. Your social influence or your social quotient could increase. You could be in an authoritative position, or you could have a lot of people who you would influence. In spite of Ketu being in the first house, that's the remedy for you. The other remedy would come from Jupiter, since first house is also the trinal house for you. And remedy for you comes from Jupiter here. All right. So Jupiter is the one who you need to remedy through mantras, through prayers. So simple mantra, Om Guruve Nama or Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya is what you could use, or consume food items related to Jupiter. Consume saffron, consume jaggery, consume turmeric. So this is something which you could do to channelize the energies of this Ketu here, and of course make the most of your 7-1 axis. Ketu is your co-fourth lord, making a transit in the first house. It is forming a yoga. It is more of a neutral planet for you. Ketu is like Mars, so it is bringing firepower in your ascendant, and it is also bringing isolation. See, isolation sometimes is good because if you sit by yourself and if you meditate, you do some dhyana, you're able to realize your potential. You're able to introspect and self reflect. So, reflective capabilities are very good for you. Ketu is aspecting your fifth house, your ninth house. So, it is activating your dharma trine, which is the sense of righteousness, taking right decisions, building your fundamentals, and for any higher knowledge, it is a very good time because your 159 is pretty active. So, you'd like to gain higher knowledge, you like to study. If you were to go abroad outside of your home country for education pursuits, it could be a good time for you. See, fourth house and its lord also indicates primary education or our fundamentals. So this Ketu is going to help you to build or rebuild your fundamentals. In case there are decisions pertaining to your house or any real estate, this could be a favorable transit for you. You could do some construction related to real estate or related to your existing property, or you could get into buying a new property. The only thing that you have to manage is your mood and your temperament. Otherwise, it could be detrimental towards your relationship. You will have a renewed focus on your health and well being, a very good routine. You will be very strongly connected to your dharma, to your religion, and towards your value system. So, you will build very strong fundamentals when it comes to value. And for that, I wish you the very best in the year 2025 2026. Now, let us talk about Virgo Ascendant. What's happening with Virgo Ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make a move, and Rahu is entering Aquarius, Ketu is entering Leo. This is happening after 18 years, and this transit is, of course, a change after 18 months. Rahu and Ketu make a movement. So, Rahu is moving out of your 8th house, and now Rahu is making a move out. Let us now talk about Virgo Ascendant. What's happening with Virgo Ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make a move to Aquarius and Leo, respectively. This transit is happening after 18 years. Rahu and Ketu are always 180 degrees apart from each other. They're in opposite houses and they're always moving retrograde or in reverse. Rahu has been making a transit in your seventh house. Now it will enter your sixth house in the sign of Aquarius. Rahu is the co-ruler of Aquarius because Aquarius is its Mool Trikon sign, something that I have mentioned in the beginning of my video. So this is giving you a Viparita Yoga, a natural Viparita Yoga in transit. That means circumstances, situations could go adverse. Eventually, you will rise from this transit. Ketu is your third lord, making a transit in the 12th house. This is also giving you a Viparita Yoga in transit. Situation will go adverse. Eventually, you will rise. So there is certain rise after fall. So this is something which you could expect. Now, third house, sixth house, 10th house, and 11th house are one of the very good placements for Rahu. I consider this transit for Rahu to be mostly positive for you. Rahu likes your Lagna Lord Mercury. And any remedy for Rahu in this transit would come from Mercury or Saturn because Saturn is the primary lord of Aquarius, which is its Mool Trikon sign or the office space. So, Rahu in this house, sitting here, one thing it would certainly do for you is it would defeat your enemies. It would help you conquer your enemies. However, you need to encounter and, of course, control the enemies of your mind, which is Shadripus. For example, greed, lie. Some of these things you have to take into account and try to control. This is where you could remedy Moon and try to strengthen your mind. You have to overcome your greed. See, greed is also associated to Mercury because Mercury is connected to cash. And one of the ways to counter greed is to donate. So your 612 axis is pretty active over the next 18 months. So make donations. Donate to those people who need, particularly if you make some donations to people with disability or to hospitals, healthcare, and people suffering with certain disease, certain medical condition. This could be very good for you. You can also donate towards children welfare, towards child care, towards education of children. This is also a very good remedy for you. And I think this is the only remedy you need in order to channelize this transit, this cycle for you positively, because you could expect matters pertaining to your sixth house and 12th house to be mostly active and mostly prominent over the course of next few months. Now, this Rahu is aspecting your seventh house by its seventh aspect. This house is delicate, so you have to protect your relationship. You have to be more focused, be more mindful in your relationship, in your business, in your partnership. This could create a sense of conflict, and this could, of course, be the focus of the hour. So make sure that you're there for your partner. And of course, if there is any difference of opinion, you resolve that, you stay grounded, and see, understanding is the most important aspect in any relationship. And in case you face any challenges, you do have the capacity to overcome those challenges. It's all mind game. Rahu is also aspecting your 10th house by the fifth aspect and your second house by the ninth aspect. So it is activating 2, 6, and 10 trine, which is the Artha trine. So a sense of purpose, work related progress. You could also face a political situation at your workplace. So stay low key, be careful of other people, be careful of any sort of politics or manipulation. If it goes against you or detrimental towards your success, stay low key and do not get involved in any office politics or workplace politics. So be focused on your work. This is an excellent time to declutter your daily routine and start something new. Maybe a new routine will be good for you because Rahu is also aspecting your 12th house, and this is also a 100% aspect. Rahu has a very high sense of desire, so Rahu desires you to curtail your expenditure because it will increase. So you need to control your expenditure, you need to control your extravagance. On a positive side, increase your spirituality, increase your meditation, your sadhana. So have a very good 1 hour morning routine. This is something which I will highly encourage you to channelize the energies of this transit. Ketu for you is your third lord making a transit in the 12th house. So third lord going into 12th house. So of course it will cause an isolation with regards to matters related to 12th house. That is expenditure, losses. So it's a good transit for you. You will put efforts to curtail your expenditure and to create a new source of income. This is the kind of results I would expect in this transit. If you have some foreign connection or if you work with foreigners, so any communication that you do with people from outside of your home country or with foreigners or with people from multinational backgrounds, you're likely to gain some benefits from them. Spiritually, Ketu does very well in the 12th house because, of course, it supports spirituality. It's a moksha karak. So you will have a renewed spiritual discipline. Ketu is aspecting your fourth house, your eighth house by the fifth and ninth aspect. It is not very prominent, but this is activating your 4, 8, 12 trine, which is the moksha trine. So, in terms of spiritual practices, it is very positive. The remedy that I have shared with you is a must do in terms of donation. And this way, you will channelize both Rahu as well as Ketu appropriately. You do have some karmas pertaining to your father around this time. So, make sure that you're connected to your father and then you take their advice. They can go out of the way to help you and to protect you. You must also get associated to some highly learned people during this time. So you have a very high probability of getting some blessings or teachings from very highly learned people or people with authority and a lot of wisdom. So you could come in contact with highly influential people. This could be at your workplace or in your personal life. So you must make the most of this time to increase your knowledge related to your higher self consciousness, which is your self awareness. And from a spiritual point of view, have a good disciplined routine. And I wish you the very best in this transit. Let us now talk about Libra ascendant. What's happening with Libra ascendants? As Rahu and Ketu make a move, Rahu enters Aquarius and Ketu enters Leo, which is happening after 18 years. And this is activating your 5 and 11 axis, this particular axis. So expect new events triggering with regards to matters of these houses. This is where you have to pay careful attention over the next 18 months. Rahu and Ketu bring sudden shift, they bring transformation, they bring changes, they trigger life events which are long lasting. Rahu for you is making a transit in the fifth house. It is your co fifth lord because Rahu co rules the sign of Aquarius. So, from that point in time, it is a positive transit. Rahu respects your lung lord Venus because Venus is the Daitya Guru, the guru of demons. And Rahu is one of the demons, so it listens to Venus. Fifth house Rahu needs Mercury as a remedy because when Rahu is placed in the trinal house, Mercury is the sixth planet from the day lordship sequence from Rahu. Therefore, the remedy comes from Mercury. So, worshipping Lord Vishnu is very good. Using a simple Vishnu mantra that is Om Vishnave Nama could be very good for you. Mantras will work very well to counter the energies of Rahu, any negative energies, and to be able to channelize it positively. Now, Rahu is creating expansion with regards to matters of these houses, which is positional success, growth. Rahu has a high sense of desire. Fifth house is the house of children. So you could expect growth related to your children, exponential growth related to creativity. You could probably be seeing yourself to enhancing your knowledge related to technology and doing a lot of new stuff related to technology, AI, robotics, automation, machine learning. These are some of the areas that you could probably venture. And your social quotient will also be on the higher side, particularly the first few months. Now, Rahu, on the negative side, also encourages corruption. And we see corruption from the fifth house because this is a very political house. So stay away from any illegitimate means. Stay away from any corrupt practices and stick to the path of righteousness in order to channelize the energies of Rahu and look up to Mercury. This is how you will probably channelize these energies to the most. Now, your sixth house is weak because Rahu has a second aspect, which is a 100% aspect. I consider this positive because if sixth house is weak, your enemies are getting defeated. You are overcoming your enemies of the mind as well. You will probably have good thinking. Your decision making will be better. You will have a renewed focus on your health and well being. So, this is good. This is positive for you. You will probably be more focused on your lifestyle. Make sure that you take care of your stomach and your digestion. You could have some digestive issues over the next few months. Rahu is aspecting your ninth house and your ascendant by the 5th and the ninth aspect. So this is activating 159, which is the Dharma trine. So a lot of focus on your Dharma, on your religion, on your fundamentals, on your principles, your value system. So you have to rebuild your system. Fortune will favor you. You're expected to go through a good improvement or changes in your personality, in your physical well being. Rahu also is aspecting your 11th house, which is again a 100% aspect. Rahu has a huge sense of desire. So, from the perspective of gains and material comfort, it is good for you, but you could create hidden enemies over the next 18 months. So, stay low key and protect yourself from any hidden enemies. Because this could trigger sudden events due to other people who hold an enmity. These could be your friends, these could be the people who you trust or who you've trusted in the past. So make sure that you stay cautious. Ketu is making a transit in your 11th house. Ketu is your second lord. Your second lord making a transit in 11th house is a Dhan yoga in transit, a financial wealth yoga that Ketu is giving you. Ketu is a non-materialistic graha. It has no desires. It's a moksha karaka, but it does give finances. It does give wealth, depending on its natal placement, yoga's connection, and also depending on the natal placement of Sun, Surya. This time period could be further studied in terms of wealth creating opportunities. But yes, this could be favorable to create a secondary source of income, a rise in income, incentive, an increase in your income. And this could also lower down the obstacles in order to counter any obstacles, because 11th house is also Badak Sthan for you. Worship Ganesha, Lord Ganpati. Use the simple Ganesha mantra, that is Om Gam Ganpate Nama, or pray to him every day, and he is the one who will help removing these obstacles. Now, Ketu is aspecting your third house and your seventh house by its fifth and ninth aspect. So it is activating your Kama trine or the trine of desire. Ketu is a desireless planet. However, you will have conflicting approach in your life. You will probably find it difficult to deal with material comforts, material benefits, and spirituality. You will find it difficult to deal with other people because at one point in time you would want to be extremely social, like a social butterfly. At the other point in time, you could be totally opposite, an antisocial person. So these kind of temperaments will make it little bit challenging for you in terms of dealing with other people. But you have to tame your desires and use your desires, leverage your desires towards higher learning, towards higher education, towards how you could have success in your workplace endeavors. This is something which you have to be mindful of. Channelize your desires in terms of learning about how you could have a secondary source of income. What are those things that you could do to have a secondary source of income? And at the same time, help those who need. Donate. This is also a very good remedy related to Mercury, who's also your 12th lord. And this will help channelize the energies of Rahu, donate towards education of children over the next 18 months, or any help related to education. This could be stationery, this could be books. This is something which you must do from a karmic standpoint. And I wish you the very best for this transit. Let us now talk about Scorpio ascendants. What's happening with Scorpio ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make this big move? Rahu is entering Aquarius, Ketu is entering Leo, and this is happening after 18 years. You could expect big shift changes, life events to get triggered between your 4 and 10 axis. Your fourth house represents your comfort, your Sukh Bhava, your happy, safe space where you feel most comfortable, where you feel most protected, your mother, your homeland, your sense of desires, and your 10th house is your Karya Bhava or your work, your profession, your actions in the society, what you do in order to sustain yourself in this world, in order to take care of your loved ones. And this represents your profession, your karmas. So expect changes related to matters pertaining to your security, pertaining to your home and your workplace. This could trigger new opportunities, that this could trigger shift of residence, this could trigger change of place, or matters related to your existing house or your existing job. This is something which you must understand. Rahu is making a transit in Aquarius. Rahu co-rules the sign of Aquarius. Therefore, it's in a comfortable transit. Rahu and Ketu likely do well in Kendra houses or quadrant houses. Condition if you have a well disposed Saturn and Sun in your chart. So, depending on the placement of Sun, most importantly, we could further ascertain results. So, there are two planets who you must look up to, Sun and the Moon, because Sun is your 10th Lord and Moon is your ninth Lord. And Rahu and Ketu are also connected to Moon, who's your ninth Lord, because these are the nodes of the Moon. These are mathematical points related to the Moon. So, they're the integral part of Chandrama. So the most powerful mantra for you over the next 18 months is Om Namo Bhagavate Ramchandraya. So Shri Ram is associated to Leo, which is 10th house. And of course, Chandrama is associated to 9th house, which is also Lord Krishna. So this is the mantra which you could use. Rahu is making a transit in the 4th house, so it expands matters pertaining to 4th house, which is assets, real estate, vehicles, construction of house, dealing with things matters to your homeland. It is also causing a sense of affliction. Those people who've been looking forward to moving outside of their home country, this time period could be positive. You could shift your residence, you could change your residence, you could move cities, you could also move countries because this axis is pretty much active. Rahu will also ensure that you step out of your comfort zone because Rahu has a sense of expansive tendencies in 4th house. So it wants to achieve a high amount of satisfaction, a high amount of safety and security. So it will continue to push you out of your comfort zone. Look up to Saturn here, and of course, look up to Sun and Moon as I have previously mentioned. Rahu is aspecting your 5th house by the second aspect. So this house certainly needs to be paid careful attention because this house becomes very delicate and this aspect is 100%. Future planning is needed. A more mindful, thoughtful approach towards your future planning, relationship pertaining to your children, and those who are also planning to have children. This could cause some obstruction with regards to matters pertaining to these houses. 5th house also represents love, which is unconditional love. So you could have some setbacks in matters pertaining to relationships. So be prepared for it. This is something which you need to strengthen. So your value system should be very strong over the next few months. Rahu is also aspecting your 8th house and your 12th house by its 5th and ninth special aspect. So it is activating your 4, 8, and 12 trine, which is the moksha trine. Your 4, 8, 12 trine is moksha trine. So this enhances spiritual capabilities, spiritual powers. Rahu is not a very spiritual graha. This could cause some obstruction in terms of matters related to your spirituality, and this is something which you have to overcome. So the only way you can overcome this is by looking up to your ninth lord moon, your 10th lord sun, and following some spiritual discipline. A routine that you could have in your daily life, maybe the first hour of the day, you dedicate this to your own routine, which includes some spiritual practices, which is meditation, yoga, sadhana. This way, you will be able to channelize this Rahu. One interesting remedy for you is to declutter your house, clean up the space, ensure that it is neat and tidy, even your workspace. Both of these houses, matters related to these houses, should be absolutely clean and tidy, and you need to do it yourself. Rahu is also aspecting your 10th house, which is again a 100% aspect. Rahu has a strong sense of desire for you to grow in terms of your work, in terms of your career over the next 18 months. So, this is where we could expect some breakthrough results in matters pertaining to your career, pertaining to your work. Because Ketu is making a transit in your 10th house, and Ketu is your co ascendant lord. It gets exalted in the sign of Scorpio, and it co rules this particular sign based on various thought processes. Now, this is where you have to pay careful attention because this is a yoga in transit, right? So, when it's a yoga in transit, this means that Ketu can deliver you very good results These are fiery energies in the house of workplace. So, workplace related change and growth is inevitable, and this will be done by your own effort. So, you will take things in your own hands. Maybe you need to now do some things differently to have a very unconventional approach towards growth. This is how you'll be able to channelize these energies. You could have some workplace politics situation as well, which you have to stay away from. So be very focused about your own work. Ketu is aspecting your second house and your sixth house. So this is activating your 2, 6, and 10 trine, which is the Artha trine or Artha trikone. So this is how you will channelize the energies in terms of any matters pertaining to your family, finances, and your job. So expect job related progress over the next 18 months. The remedy I have shared with you in the very beginning: stay away from any political situation at your workplace. At times, you can also have introspective or isolative tendencies at work. If you introspect, if you're an introvert, it is good for you because you will reflect, you will have greater thinking capability. And when you have greater thinking capability, you will realize your potential and you will make very good decisions. And I wish you the very best for this Rahu and Ketu's transit. Let us now talk about Sagittarius ascendants and what's happening with Sagittarius ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make this big shift or big move. So Rahu now is entering your third house in the sign of Aquarius, and Ketu is entering your ninth house in the sign of Leo. And this is happening after 18 years. Rahu and Ketu are always opposite from each other, 180 degrees apart, and they're always moving in a reverse direction or they're always retrograde. Rahu is the co-ruler of the third house because it co-rules the sign of Aquarius, which is its Mool Trikon sign. So this Rahu is making a transit in its own Mool Trikon sign. Third Lord is making a transit in third house itself. Ketu co-rules your 12th house, the sign of Scorpio, and it is making a transit in the ninth house. Now your 3-9 axis is pretty active in this transit. 3 and 9 axis indicates journeys, new beginnings. So expect some sort of changes in your personal life. This could be change of residence, this could be change of place, this could be change of job. And this could be starting of something new, something that you've been wanting to do since a long time. Getting into your own ventures, short contracts, agreements that could potentially be good for you. These are the kind of energies that Rahu and Ketu are bringing over the next few months. So, your third lord making a transit in the third house, whichever house Rahu makes a transit, it tries to amplify the effects of these houses. So, it will force you to put in a lot more efforts than you would usually do. It would trigger change because we see change from the third house. There's also some karma or conflict related to your siblings. So, you could probably face certain challenges or certain communication issues with regards to your co-bonds, especially if you have a younger co-bond. Some difference of opinion that could be there. But you have to be very truthful in your communication. You have to be very expansive in your communication. You will be very vocal, but besides being vocal, make sure that you speak the right kind of language. Otherwise, it could be detrimental for you. Be very careful while interacting on social media. Avoid venting your emotions on other people. You need to be intelligent communicator. This is where you will look up to Mercury. And for any remedy, you must look up to Jupiter, who is your Lagna Lord, in order to channelize the energies of both Rahu and Ketu throughout the next 18 months. You must look up to Jupiter. So, definitely, you're going to put more efforts. Your fourth house, which is aspected by Rahu by the second aspect, which is a 100% aspect. Now, this house is a little bit delicate here. Okay, why it is delicate? Because this is the second house which he is aspecting. So therefore, you have to be a little bit careful in terms of matters pertaining to this house. Since Rahu has a second aspect, so it will push you out of your comfort zone. Your mother's health could be a little bit concerning. There could be some unnecessary or unwanted changes in your home. Or you could probably step out of your comfort zone because of some situation you could feel threatened. You will overcome this through meditation, through sadhana, by building your mental capability and by looking up to Jupiter. You can also journal to increase and make this Rahu positive in the transit. Rahu will be aspecting your 7th house and your 11th house by its 5th and 9th special aspect. So it is activating 3, 7, and 11 trine, which is the trine of desire, the Kama Trikon. So there's a high sense of desire that Rahu has. Rahu is also aspecting the 9th house, which is a 100% aspect on your 9th house. So it wants to elevate your bhagya. Of course, you will have high sense of desire and you need to channelize these desires. So channelize these desires by learning, by improving your discipline on a day-to-day basis, and by looking up to your Lagna Lord Jupiter. You need to learn something. See, third house is also learning. So something which is coming to an end, there are new beginnings, there are new learnings. So pick up a course, learn something, upskill yourself to channelize these energies. Ketu is making a transit in your ninth house. A remedy for you is Jupiter. When Ketu is in trine, look up to Jupiter. Ketu is your co-12th lord, and school of thoughts also believe that Ketu rules the sign of Pisces, so it's also your co-4th lord. There will always be a difference of opinion. I go more by Scorpio. So 12th lord coming in the ninth house. Of course, it is creating a sense of purpose and also foreign connections. If you were to settle outside of your home country, go for long distance travel, permanent settlement could happen during this phase. This is something which you could look up to, and the transit could be supportive. You have to continuously focus on your dharma, focus on your bhagya, because Ketu does create separative tendencies in matters pertaining to the house, and here it is making a transit in the ninth house. So you need to protect your dharma. Ketu is aspecting your ascendant and your fifth house by the fifth and ninth aspect. So this is activating your dharma trine. All the more reason for you to stick to the path of righteousness and to build your fundamentals. You must take a Guru Upadesha, because third house represents Guru Upadesha, ninth house is the house of Guru. So you definitely have a karma towards your Guru, towards your mentor, and any message, blessings, teachings, or guidance from your mentor, from your coach, from your Guru could be very good for you. And this could bring some sort of positivity. This could help you channelize these energies appropriately, and you must go for it. This will help you in your decision making, most importantly, and to ensure that you do not stick away from the path of righteousness, because in terms of making decisions, this could be a little bit challenging for you. The other remedy for you could be to exercise, eat a clean diet, and work out every day in the gym, or do something related to your hands, either journal or exercise or work in your kitchen, to channelize the energies of this Rahu in the most positive way. And I expect these changes to be mostly good for you. All the very best. Now let's talk about Capricorn ascendants and what's happening with Capricorn ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make a move. Rahu is entering Aquarius, Ketu is entering Leo, which is happening after 18 years. This will create big shift, changes, nodes trigger life events because these are cyclical energies. I have explained this in the beginning of my video, and this transit is happening in your 2 and 8 axis. So expect changes and life events to trigger with regards to matters pertaining to these houses, and also most importantly pertaining to the natal placement of Rahu and the kind of connection Rahu and Ketu are making in your chart, the yogas that they form, the dispositor. So the placement of both Saturn and Sun matters a lot, which is of course the labor and authority. Rahu is the co-ruler of Aquarius. So it's your co-second lord, and it is making a transit in the second house. So it is forming a Dhan Yoga or a financial yoga in transit. So matters pertaining to finances, you will see an expansion. I would expect this Rahu and Ketu's transit to deliver better results for you. The last 18 months, particularly, would have been challenging in terms of efforts, in terms of losing out on your fortune as well. But this time period, you could see considerable increase in your finances because Rahu expands matters pertaining to the house that is making a transit. You have to be constantly focused towards your family. See, Capricorn ascendants have a natural karma of working towards their family. Saturn is your Lagna Lord. Capricorn, it's its own sign. Aquarius is the Mool Trikona, or the office space of Saturn and also Rahu, and it is second from Capricorn. Therefore, your ascendant Lord wants you to work towards your family and share your wealth, share your resources, share your food, which of course we do with our family. So you would need to do a lot of financial management. If you were to have a secondary source of income, this could be good for you. You could have incentive, you could have growth, you could have promotion. But Rahu in the second house also somehow obstructs your path in terms of making you weak, right? Making you involved in indulgences, right? So avoid any kind of indulgence, extravagance. In the ancient time, it was related to wealth, wine, and women, which could be detrimental towards your overall life. And of course, avoid any kind of extravagance and indulgence because Rahu does bring that kind of capacity. So, if you leverage these energies positively, you will foster as far as your relationship matters are there, as far as your financial status is there, that could probably significantly improve. Rahu is aspecting your third house by its second aspect. So this house needs to be paid careful attention because this house has become delicate. Third house is one of the Upachaya bhavas. Of course, it will obstruct your efforts, but at the same time, it will help you control your desires because third house has some negative characteristics as well. So if it becomes weak, it is good in a way because it will help you channelize your desires appropriately for you to take the best decisions that you can around this time. Rahu is also aspecting your sixth house by its fifth aspect and your 10th house by its ninth aspect. So it is activating 2-6-10 trine, which is the Arthur trine, your sense of purpose, your sense of work. That will be mostly the need of the hour. You have to ensure that you stay away from any office politics or work related politics because you are susceptible to manipulation over the next few months. So focus on your own work and avoid being involved in any political discussions and be very ethical. Follow ethics, principles, build your own value system and take the right kind of decisions. Otherwise, it could have a detrimental effect on your work and also on your reputation. Towards the end, you need to protect your reputation, you need to protect your self-esteem and not lose it. So from work point of view, I do expect it to be progressive transit. Rahu is also aspecting your eighth house by the seventh aspect of desire, which is also 100%. So Rahu wants you to transform in a very deep manner. But this could trigger sudden events. So be prepared for sudden decisions where you will have very limited time, but you have to make a decision. You will have maybe two choices and you need to choose one. So be prepared for such tough situations where you have to take a decision in a very short span of time. Ketu, on the other side, is making a transit in your eighth house. Ketu is your co 11th lord making a transit in the eighth house. So, from a gains point of view, it is a bit of a challenging time because Ketu brings suddenness in the eighth house. So, there could be sudden shifts, but you will conquer your enemies. You will be able to defeat your enemies because we see bigger enemies from the 11th house. And Ketu co-rules Scorpio. Ketu is like Mars. It holds an enmity with your Lagna Lord Saturn. So your enemies will be defeated. Your opposition, in case someone manipulates, they're going to have a very hard time. They're going to have a very tough time depending on your ongoing dasha and dasha. Ketu brings separative tendencies in matters pertaining to 8th house. So, of course, this is good for you because you will be able to overcome your weakness. But you have to be very much mindful of your health and well being. So, practice any healthy tips or a very healthy routine that you need to develop over the next few months. Your number one priority for this transit should be your health, should be your well being. Make sure that you go for a regular health checkup because Ketu is aspecting your 12th house. Ketu is aspecting your fourth house, and Ketu is sitting in the eighth house. So it is activating the moksha trine, which is the trine of spirituality. So from a spiritual point of view, it is a very good time, but you will face challenge, a conflict in your material life, in your wealth creating life, and your spiritual life. You would want to have the best of cards and, of course, the best of spiritual knowledge as well. And this is where you will probably have a conflicting situation. But of course, have a meditation routine. Maybe the first 1 hour of the day you could do something. Donate to people with disability. Donate to hospitals. This is how you will be able to counter the energies. And most importantly, look up to your fifth lord Venus. Do remedies related to Venus. Use a simple Lakshmi mantra, that is Om Lakshmaye Namah, or worship Durga or goddess Lakshmi to make the most of this transit and the energies. And I wish you the very best. Now let us talk about Aquarius Ascendant. What's happening with Aquarius Ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make this big move when Rahu is entering Aquarius and Ketu is entering Leo. That is happening in your first house and seventh house, respectively. Rahu and Ketu both make a move simultaneously. They're always 180 degrees apart from each other. They're always moving in reverse direction or vakri or retrograde, as we say. This is putting a focus on your 1 and 7 axis. Rahu and Ketu trigger life events. They are cyclical energy, so expect changes, new beginnings, transformations with regards to matters of your first house and your seventh house. This would be the primary focus. Rahu, interestingly, is your co-lagna lord because Rahu's Mool Trikon sign is Aquarius, so it co-rules the sign of Aquarius along with Saturn. So from that point in time, it's a positive transit. Rahu expands whichever house it sits, whichever house it's making a transit, it accentuates or it amplifies its effects. It could be both positively as well as negatively. So it is going to expand your personality. You are going to become an extroverted person. So it's going to be a very socially influencing transit for you. It's an opportunity transit because your personality is going to evolve. And it's a very unconventional approach or way that you would have towards other people, which could be good towards your success. So you'll have a greater focus on your vitality, on your immunity, on your body, on your physical, as well as mental wellness. Depending on the placement of Saturn in your chart, if it is placed in Kendra houses, excellent. Trinal houses, it is average. If Rahu in your natal chart is placed in 3, 6, 10, and 11, this is a much better Rahu Ketu transit for you that could bring in new opportunities for growth point of view, personal as well as professional growth. Now, one house that is delicate for you is the second house of your family, of your wealth, of your finances, of your food consumption. So you could go through some dietary changes by force. You have to protect your finances, you have to do some financial management, and you have to protect your family as well and your relationship with family members. So this house is a little bit delicate because Rahu has a second aspect, which is a 100% aspect. All right. So maybe focus on savings, maybe focus on on probably intelligent investment decisions, or if you could avoid or delay some of your major financial matters, that could probably help, or get a financial advisor, or take care of some of your family members, those who you trust from a financial point of view. Rahu is also aspecting your fifth house and your ninth house by the fifth and ninth special aspect. So this is activating your Dharma trine, which is the 159 trinal house. So a greater focus on fortune, a greater focus on your Dharma, on your fundamentals, the path of righteousness. Rahu could make you deviate from this path. It could cause obstruction from your dharma, but you have to stick to your dharma. You have to stick to the path of righteousness. This is how you will channelize these energies. Use prayers, use mantras. Rahu making a transit in the trinal house in your lagna, the remedy is Mercury. Vishnu mantra, read Vishnu Sahasranam, chant Vishnu Sahasranam, particularly on every Wednesday, or use a simple Vishnu mantra that is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and he is the one who will protect you and help you grow in life and help you build your fundamentals and help you improve your sleep as well. Now, Ketu on the other side is making a transit in your seventh house. Rahu is also aspecting your seventh house, which is a 100% drishti. So Rahu has a huge sense of desire in seventh house, while Ketu is creating separative tendency. Rahu is trying to overpower. So Rahu will foster new relationship, new business opportunities, new agreements, contracts, a constant focus on your existing relationship as well. There could be temperamental issues, which are very normal in any partnership, in any marriage, or of course in any relationship as well. And as long as you're able to deal with your temperament and the temperament of your partner, it is good for you. As long as there is space, there is mutual respect, it is good. Otherwise, it could be detrimental. Ketu, who's your core 10th lord, is making a transit in the 7th house. So it's a time for new business opportunities, new ventures, new collaborations, new partnerships, new way of thinking, a very unconventional approach towards your work. You could be seeing yourself doing something absolutely new, something that you've never thought about. Ketu does create separative tendencies, but from a spiritual point of view, it is very good for you. If you have some spiritual practices, if you have a spiritual discipline, a morning routine, this will give you very good new opportunities. Now, this Ketu is definitely forming a yoga because it's your 10th lord, making a transit in the 7th house. You could expect business profits, you could expect gains, you could expect new ventures. Condition if you put more efforts towards it. Ketu is aspecting your 11th house and also your 3rd house by the 5th and ninth aspect. So this is activating your karma trine. Okay, your trine of desire. Ketu does not have any desire, but this time period you need to channelize your desire. You will have a challenge in terms of dealing with your personal life and your outer world of people, things, and events. That could be a little bit concerning sometimes. That could cause a stressful situation. So you could probably, this could become a constant cause of stress because you might feel worked up. You might feel that you have a sense of responsibility or accountability towards other people. So meditation is very good in such cases, which will help you stay grounded, which will also help you to realize your potential. So have a very good morning routine, and I wish you the very best for this transit of Rahu and Ketu. Let us now talk about Pisces ascendants. What's happening with Pisces ascendants as Rahu and Ketu make this big move? Rahu moves to Aquarius, Ketu moves to Leo, which is a big shift. They're always 180 degrees apart from each other or opposite from each other. And Rahu and Ketu cause cyclical shifts. These are cyclical energies, these trigger life events. Major events occur when the nodes make a transit, make a change, and of course, create permanent shifts, permanent events, long lasting, sustainable events. Now, this is where your 6 and 12 axis is involved. So, you could expect events, matters pertaining to your 12th house and your 6th house. Your 12th house represents your higher self consciousness, your bed comforts, your sleep, your sense of well being, your ability to give donations. This is the house of expenditure or losses. This is where you incur all expenditure and you give yourself away, or of course, you make donations, your ability to help others, and your ability to be more self aware, your house of unlimited potential. Wherein sixth house is the house of job, your daily routine, deaths, diseases, your health and well being, things that you do on a day to day basis, your competition or your enemies. So expect matters pertaining to these houses to be of greater importance for the next 18 months. Now, Rahu is your 12th lord. It is the core 12th lord making a transit in the 12th house. It co-rules the sign of Aquarius, being its Mool Trikon sign. It is creating a Viparita Yoga in transit, which means circumstances will go adverse, but eventually you will rise. Ketu is your core 9th lord, co-rules the sign of Scorpio, and making a transit in your 6th house of daily routine. The lord of Dharma making a transit in the 6th house of daily routine. You will be very focused on Dharma in your daily life. Prayers will be very helpful for you. Since Ketu likes your Lagna Lord Jupiter, this is a time for you to overcome your enemies, defeat your enemies, conquer any opposition that might be there. That is something which you will be able to counter depending on the natal placement of Surya. Sun is the one, and Jupiter who you have to look up to around this time. Now, Rahu is creating a Viparita Yoga, but it will create expansion in matters pertaining to 12th house, which is your expenditure could rise. When your expenditure rises, your income also rises. So, I do expect your financial position to get better over the next few months, but avoid any kind of indulgence. Also, from a decision making point of view, avoid impulsiveness. Any impulsive buying or investment decision could be detrimental to your wealth and finances. Make intelligent, well grounded decisions in terms of matters pertaining to your money or your finances. See, because Rahu is aspecting your Lagna by its second aspect. So this is the house that needs to be paid careful attention because this has gone a little bit weak. This is a delicate house for the next 18 months. So your decision making will be at test. So you need to ensure that you make the right kind of decisions because there could be certain illusions. You are susceptible to making wrong decisions. You're also susceptible towards negative influence of other people. You will be very easily be influenced by other people's decision and be driven by those actions. So this is something which you have to take control and be mindful of some of these decisions. Rahu is also aspecting your fourth house by its fifth aspect and your eighth house by its ninth special aspect. So what is Rahu doing here? It is activating your 4, 8, and 12 axis. So which means spirituality will be good for you. If you practice meditation, it will help your decision making. It will help you to understand your potential. See, 5 to 10 minutes of meditation is a must every day. You can practice physical stillness. This will help you think through, and of course, this will help you understand and realize your potential. And this way, you'll be able to channelize the energies of Rahu. Rahu is also aspecting your sixth house, which is also a 100% aspect. So, Rahu wants you to expand your daily routine and, of course, offer you some new opportunities at the job front. It could be potentially an interesting time for you, wherein you could get new job opportunities over the next few months, which could be very good for your mindfulness. Ketu is sitting in your sixth house. Your Bhagyesha is sitting in the sixth house. So, this could bring in a better job opportunity in case your time period is more influenced by Ketu. However, Ketu creates separative tendencies. So, it could obstruct your daily routine. The one thing you have to focus on is your health and well-being. You will have a renewed focus towards your health, towards your well-being. Make donations to people who have some sort of disability, or make donations to hospitals towards patients. This is something which you must do from a karmic standpoint. Ketu would definitely obstruct your daily routine, and this is something which you need to counter. So look up to your Lagna Lord Jupiter. Use mantras related to Jupiter. A simple Guru mantra, that is Om Guruve Nama, or a Shiva mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya, will be very helpful for you. And this way you will be able to channelize these energies. Ketu is aspecting your 10th house by its fifth aspect and your second house by its ninth aspect. So Ketu is activating the Artha trine, which is your 2, 6, 10, your sense of purpose, your sense of work and duties. So you could have a renewed approach, a very unconventional approach towards your work. Expect new challenging assignments, challenging projects, a job that you have never done in the past, and you have to be prepared for it. So learn something, pick up a course, learn a skill or two, and try to upskill yourself in this highly competitive world. If you were to surpass this competition, look up to your Lagna Lord Jupiter, and he is the one who will guide you in the right direction. And I wish you the very best for this Rahu and Ketu's transit. So, friends, this was my interesting presentation on Rahu and Ketu's 2025-2026 transit in Aquarius and Leo. I hope you found this video very valuable, and it will help you make some preparations as we prepare ourselves for this big energy shift and stay positive at the same time. I hope and believe this will help put our fundamentals back on track and have a sense of ownership towards ourselves and our loved ones. Thank you very much. God bless you all.